All right, good morning, everybody. This is CBS19 Meteorologist Joel Robinson here with a morning weather update. We're going to be talking all about the severe weather and what we have in store for Saturday as far as the latest data goes. We're currently streaming live on Facebook. We're also streaming live on YouTube and, of course, CBS19 Plus. So thanks for joining me this morning. Again, we're going to be going over what we know so far about these severe weather possibilities and mainly the heavy rainfall possibilities. That's above all else when it comes to this system coming in on Saturday. So here's what we know. So we, again, have that weather impact alert in place. We do know that conditions are going to be very favorable for some very heavy rainfall. It's going to be happening very early as well. 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. is that time frame that we're going to be watching for. Heavy rainfall is going to be the #1 threat here. A lot of rainfall here in such a short amount of time, so certainly some flash flooding not out of the question here. Likely to see 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rainfall underneath some pockets here. So if you're heading out early on Saturday, make sure to bring that umbrella, and of course you can download our CBS19 app and turn on those notifications as well so you can see the latest severe weather alerts should we get any. Now, as far as the severe weather side of things, as far as damaging winds, hail, tornadoes, it's mainly a damaging wind threat. Not expecting tornadoes or not expecting hail out of this. It's mainly going to be a damaging wind threat. And of course, we're looking at flash flooding as a threat as well. So the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has put East Texas, parts of East Texas under a marginal risk. That's a 1 out of 5 risk for severe thunderstorms. Basically means maybe 1 or 2 of these places here under this green shading are going to see maybe a couple of gusty wind reports up to about 60 miles per hour. It's not going to be all that widespread. The other thing that's going to be a little bit more widespread, though, however, is, again, that excessive rainfall, marginal and slight across much of East Texas. This is a scattered risk. A lot of us are probably going to get in on this heavy rainfall threat, especially given the coverage and the mode that it's going to be taking on. And what I mean by mode is basically how it develops. We are expecting a very heavy line. It's basically one wave in the morning, one wave of very heavy rainfall. That's what we're going to be seeing. And as far as our excessive rainfall goes, we have a slight risk, meaning scattered flash floods are going to be a problem going into Saturday. So here we go. Future Skycast. This is what we have as far as the latest data goes in our Future Skycast. By the way, Friday, 7 o'clock football games should be just fine. It's not until we get to midnight. There it is, off to the west, taking on this squall line. So we got some gusty winds possible in there, definitely some heavy rainfall as we head forward into the overnight. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning, roughly around the western parts of the area. And yeah, just really packing a punch there. Lots of rainfall, gusty winds. It's basically out of here by about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're just going to be dealing with this area of light rain, which usually follows behind a line like this. So we're just going to be dealing with that, and I would say we're almost in the complete clear as we head into Saturday afternoon. Can't rule out maybe a couple of showers, of course a couple of clouds as well, but this is all ahead of a cold front, so we will be cooler. Temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s are what we have for Saturday afternoon, and then another additional round of rain possible on Sunday. This is going to be along the backside of that system. Could have a couple residual showers, but most everybody I think will be on the dry side, especially as we go into Sunday, possibly the Monday and Tuesday. However, there is some data that suggests maybe a couple more rounds of rain possible on Wednesday, or I should say Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I think we're going to be okay. We have that cold front, a second cold front coming in by Wednesday. We could have actually highs on Wednesday in the low 70s. It's going to be very, very comfortable. But this is the latest data when it comes to the rainfall for Saturday. Likely 1 to 2 inches of rain is going to be a possibility. Not obviously going to be uniform here. Some areas are going to pick up a little bit more than others, but an easy, quick 1 to 2 inches of rain is going to be possible. Certainly flash flooding is going to be a possibility, especially given how dry it's been. The ground just cannot absorb all that rain, so we are going to expect flooding across much of the area. That's why we have the excessive rainfall outlook outlining lots of East Texas under that slight risk. That's scattered flash flooding here. So as far as rainfall over the next several days, this is our biggest chance for rain right here on Saturday. That's that weather impact alert. Lots of rainfall. That's the #1 thing that we're watching for. A couple showers, certainly a possibility on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, we'll have to kind of keep a close eye on. There was some data that suggests maybe a few showers. There's other data that suggests little to no rain at all. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on that. But over the next 7 days, really, this is going to be happening on Saturday and Sunday. Likely going to be seeing 2 to 3 inches of rain as a whole, basically, as a total over the next couple of days. This is really over the next couple of days, but over the next 7 days, should we actually get an additional round of rain on Monday and Tuesday, we could see a little bit more, something like this, but we'll have to pay attention to closer to the end of the week for any additional rain chances, of course, going into, again, the next week, the end of the next week. But as for right now, next 7 days, 2 to 3 inches of rain is going to be a possibility, so that is something we're going to be having to watch for. This is what our next system could potentially be. So we have this area of low pressure off to the northwest, warm air trying to advance. What we have here is what's called a dry line. It's very common here in the southern plains. It's basically the boundary between warm moist air, which would be on this side, and warm dry air, which would be on the rear side. And dry air is a lot more dense than moist air. And so basically you have these density differences, and that's how you can kind of create sort of a mini front. It's not technically considered a front, but it is a boundary nonetheless that can produce lift. A lot of data does suggest that this front will actually catch up to the dry line, and we'll just see a good old-fashioned cold front. We'll have some cooler air moving in, and that's where those temperatures in the 70s come into play for next week. We're going to be watching really closely for possible rain from this. But for now, we are just looking kind of at a dry passage here. So here is what it all looks like on your 7-day forecast here. So in the meantime, very dry, 84 for today, 84 for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. This kind of marks kind of the beginning of the system coming in, and it won't be until around midnight. Again, 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the most part here. That's kind of the window that we're watching for. This is going to be an overnight event while you're sleeping. It's going to be early as we go into Saturday. So the first half of Saturday's weather impact alert until we get that line to pass all the way through. Could have a couple showers after that, but otherwise the heaviest stuff is going to be in the morning. So that's why the weather impact alert is for the first half of Saturday and not for the second half. Now, another shot for rain as we go into Sunday along the back side of the system. Sunday morning, then Sunday afternoon should be all dry. Watching closely Monday and Tuesday for that second system. So far, it's a low confidence that we'll see rain. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. 80 degrees for Monday, 76 for Tuesday, and then down, yes, you see that right, 70 degrees on Wednesday. This is definitely a fall-like cold front coming in. So that's what we have going into the next 7 days. So again, early morning event on Saturday. Friday football, you're good. Tonight football, you're just fine. It's going to be Saturday that we're going to have to really kind of pay attention to, particularly in the morning. So again, CBS 19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony will be in, actually I would say possibly in on Saturday. Of course, Jamie Hazard will be in possibly if we have to go live on CBS 19 Plus during the morning, should we see any severe weather. But we will have the latest updates as we go forward. Jamie Hazard will be in this afternoon with some of the latest data, so be sure to tune into that. And once again, we'll step through a future Skycast one more time just to kind of give you a timeline. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of leeway here, or I should say a little bit of flexibility when it comes to the timing of this, but we can really agree that it's going to be an overnight thing. So here it is by noon, or I should say quite the opposite, midnight, as we go into Saturday morning. Should be coming in by 4 o'clock in the morning, and then all the way through 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We have that weather impact alert going until 9 o'clock a.m. Should be out of here. Then we're just going to be dealing with some light showers on and off throughout the day. Much cooler temperatures. It's going to be very, very refreshing. That is one thing for sure. So that's what we have going on for us on Saturday. Of course, you can tune into the noon show. We'll have some updated information there. CBS 19 News at 5, 6, and 6:30, and of course, CBS 19 News at 10 tonight for the latest weather updates. So hope to see you there. And for now, we'll keep you updated on all of that. In the meantime, if we have to stream or anything like that, we will be sure to do so as soon as the new data comes out. But for now, stay weather aware. We'll keep you advised.